Hi there, it's Anthony from Evolution Series. So this is my first video blog. It's been something I've been racking my brain over and just trying to work out what exactly am I going to be talking about. It's one of these things where there's so much information, so much great information, obviously a lot of crap information too out there, but lots of great information out there on the web, a lot of wonderful sources for learning and being entertained, and like in the end, it's just trying to work out, well, how can I add to it or not? I mean, at the end of the day, I think what I determined, let's just have a bit of a chat. Let's, talk about a few things that, end of the day that I'm passionate about. And I think one of them is sampling and obviously running music. At the whole two, they really connect in a interesting way, I find. I mean, we're so lucky, really, in this day and age, to have the quality of virtual instruments out there by so many wonderful developers. I mean, as a developer, we're all out here just trying to create fun and unique tools for everyone to use in their music, and really, it's tremendous. So, one of the things that I was actually thinking about lately is this frustration, the frustration of how long it takes to actually make a virtual instrument. It really, I mean, unless you've gone into the trenches and started building one of these things yourself, it can take a huge amount of time. I mean, I think one of my weaknesses is I always choose huge projects to do. I remember when we made World Percussion, I had this vision, the first version of World Percussion. We ended up getting all these amazing drums brought down to the studio where we're recording, and the place was just chocker full of everything. It was like the Aladdin's cave of percussion. It was amazing. And then we started recording, and I realized we didn't have enough time to record everything. And I had to make a decision back then, let's just go quality over quantity, and that's what we ended up doing. But the good thing about that was we ended up doing version 2 and recorded more drums and still focused on the quality and expanded the library that way. So in the long run, it still worked out well, and we didn't sort of cut back on that quality aspect of it. So I guess the thing is, though, is back to the whole point. It all takes so much time, and I think lately we were working on, we released the UD library, which was a big beast. I mean, I think we spent more time than what we ever imagined working on it, and all the aspects from the recording took a long time to then programming everything, getting all the transitions and the hammer-on, pull-off, portamento sliding, all of those mechanisms working in an intuitive manner. And it was an epic undertaking. I mean, it might just seem like a simple little UD in the end, but really it was, you're always learning through these processes. And then, so, I mean, I guess the point I was sort of getting to, that whole frustration of things taking a long time, I posed this question to myself whether I could actually create a fun little instrument without, spending that crazy amount of time. So was it possible to make something useful with virtually no scripting in contact? It's just record a bunch of interesting wee sounds, put them in contact, and can I make it usable and fun? That was it was kind of a fun little question I put to myself, and I thought, okay, I'll do it. Let's see what happens. So, and with that in mind, I ended up, I had this cool little instrument here called the Duck. I actually used it a little bit in a few of the demos for the UD, and we had a few nice comments about this instrument and people going, "Oh, well, that sounds great. I'd love a virtual instrument of that." And that's cool. I mean, I would love a virtual instrument of this too, but like anything in great detail, it just takes time. But I thought, well, how could I record this instrument quickly and still make it useful? I mean, it might be a different sampling brief, so it might not be the most virtuoso instrument out there, but can it still be fun? That was the key. So I thought, okay, let's do it. So I kind of, my idea was to record something focusing more on the emotion, so more of a textural emotion approach. So capturing swells and adding vibrato, really focusing on the performance aspect of it. Because, when recording a lot of these big instruments, it can get quite mechanical. So many velocities, so many round robins, everything has to be, perfect, but not perfect. It's hard to explain, but you still want life in the samples, but you still have to record it in a very precise manner for it to work out properly and within contact and through the scripting. But I kind of wanted to take a more organic approach, a more fun approach. So I went into the studio, and just my personal studio, so no big grand scoring stage this time round, just a nice small close sound, and ended up coming up with my little Clair de Duc contact instrument. I ended up, so the techniques I ended up doing were different length swells, with and without vibrato, bends, and some variety of trill-like techniques. So it was just something, I just wanted it to sound lively and quite, real. I mean, you can't do fast-moving things, but it's kind of interesting. So I guess the main thing now is I've got this little contact instrument, which I'm going to give away to you guys. I think this will be a bit of fun. And what I would like to do, giving this instrument away, is also have a competition for our oud. So what would be great is head to our website, go download our free little Clair de Duc instrument, write a piece of music using this instrument, and then I will ultimately listen to everyone's track, and in the end, we'll give away a couple of copies of the oud. Now let's have a little look and see what the Clair de Duc sounds like, okay? So as we can see here, you've got a very simple interface. Now, when I said before there was no scripting, well, it's virtually true that there's no scripting. The only scripting we've got going on here is to allow for a basic picture, so it's not just staring at a boring old tradition, boring old blank GUI. And I thought, let's just add a little reverb knob there, because it's a dry sound and it would be nice to just have a little bit of reverb. But other than that, there's nothing else going under the hood. It's all just using the straight, plain contact back end. So just so you understand, this instrument is the two things that you need to know is the mod wheel. By moving the mod wheel up and down, you are controlling the type of articulation, and then velocity will give you a variation on that articulation. So let's have a quick listen. So as you can see there was a swell without vibrato, And if I press a bit harder, you can hear with vibrato. And if I press even harder, you can hear a longer version. So with each swell, there are 4 types of swells assigned to velocity. So the softest is a swell, a short swell, no vibrato. Then you play a bit louder, a short swell with vibrato. Then a bit louder than that, a longer swell, no vibrato. And then the loudest, a longer swell with vibrato. Now, if I move the mod wheel up, so let's move it all the way up to the top here. We can hear different types of bends. And once again, a bend is assigned, like bend up or bend down is assigned to velocity. So there's that. And then if we go down a wee bit, you can hear a bit of a trill. So you play a bit louder, you get a slightly longer trill, and softer, a shorter trill. And then if I move the mod wheel down a wee bit, you get a slightly stronger attack sustain. Bring it back down. So there we've got it, the Claar de Duc. I think in the end it's actually proved to be quite a useful little instrument and a great deal of fun to play with. I really think, for me, as a composer, put the composer's hat on for a moment, I do find that you don't always need a really detailed instrument for your work. There might be a piece you have to write that requires a bit more of a virtuoso line, but quite often I just find I'll need a bit of flavor of an instrument, and I think something like this little Claar de Duc will prove to be very useful in my work and hopefully yours. For now, thank you for tuning in and for listening. I'll do my best to keep up with the blogs. I mean, if there's anything that anyone wants to hear in a blog from me, I'm more than happy to listen, and I'll take that into consideration for the future. But for now, I'll sign off and look forward to hearing what wonderful music you write with the Claar de Duc. I will put more information online regarding the competition. So if anyone needs a bit more idea on what has to be done, then you can please look at that. Cheers.